Fourth, be again, collegium system of appointments to higher judiciary has been the cornerstone of independence of judiciary. Yes, to an extent, correct, as the subject of debates in recent past, right? So as you know, 124 or 217 articles, they are dealing with the appointments of judges of the higher judiciary. As you know, right, we had, obviously this government, India government had enacted in fact the National Judicial Appointments Committee or Commission, which was struck down by the judiciary later, right, as against the basic structure doctrine. The idea is that judicial review is the part of basic structure, and that is true, fine. But in what way the judicial review gets hampered by the National Judicial Appointment Commission? Now see, so collegium system has its own problems. 3 judges case, right, and the changing nature or the increasing power of the judiciary. How the collegium system or collegium increased to 5 CJI plus 4 judges of his choice, obviously senior most judges. How the appointment from basically from the consultation of the Chief Justice or the court to the concentration of the Chief Justice and the court, right? See, so from consultation to concentration, how this has moved from the first judge's case to the third judge's case, right? And then obviously the collegium, the striking down the collegium, striking down the NJC, right? So how collegiums have become powerful, right? Obviously the controversies are related to that collegium systems seem to be highly opaque in nature. There are no minutes of the meetings of these decisions which are taken. It is concentrated under judiciary, which qualifies to be something called self-recruitment or conflict of interest. It is promoting lack of transparency within the judicial system. Lobbying has become very influential in this. No role for the executive as visualized by the Constitution under Article 124 or 217. So as visualized by the Constitution, no role of the executive is involved or there in the appointment of judges. Fine. But in spite of all these controversies and debates that have happened, right, Second ARC also had talked about National Judicial Council, creating a mechanism of accountability and standards for the judges, right, and improving the provisions of the Judges Inquiry Act 1968. So a lot of issues are there in terms of corruption, judicial opaqueness, judiciary not being under RTI in that sense, a lot of administrative functions of the judiciary away from the executive control, right? So we need what? We do not need, we need judicial, what you can say, review or judicial autonomy. We do not need judicial exclusivity, fine? So there's a difference between judicial autonomy and judicial exclusivity. That is something not good. Judicial intervention is fine, judicial review is fine, but not judicial adventurism or judicial excessism or judicial encroachment, whatever we say. So we can write this perspective that these debates center around, right, controversies which have come, whether you talk about West Bengal State Human Rights Commission chief, right, he was the judge, Justice Ganguly, Justice Nirmal Yadav, and likewise a lot of other controversies may have been there, fine, but as of now, the role of executive is quite restricted, right? Only in terms of the removal of judges, maybe some role of the legislature is there. And that too also is a big issue, fine, because that will lose the trust in the judiciary. So if we make judiciary more transparent, and judiciary's aspiration to become part of the executive goes down, because that is also very important. Judges want to be governors, judges want to be something, so that is also not acceptable. Fine. So you can write about the debates and the issues.